Here's an instructional video on working with 1-point perspective. So let's work on some basic forms in 1-point perspective. First thing is thinking about 1 point. Remember, it has one vanishing point, and that is on the horizon line, or you can think line of sight, based on when we're talking about the illusion on paper of 3D forms, we're seeing that perspective. You're forcing the viewer to see a certain perspective. So think of that horizon line, that line of sight is your eyes. So you're forcing them to see it from that point of view. Drawing lightly because I'm not going to keep this later on. And somewhere on this line, I'm going to put the vanishing point. So that means everything that I draw is going to converge to that one vanishing point. If you were working with 2-point, it would be 2 vanishing points. 3-point, you would have 3 vanishing points, and so on. So as you guys learned, there's all the way from 1-point to 5-point. We are going to be learning 1, 2, and 3-point. So to keep going with 1-point, there's your vanishing point, your horizon line. Let's start with a square. And remember, with 1-point, you always have one side of that form that faces you completely. So when I make it into a 3D form, that square is going to become a cube. But because that one side is facing me, it's not going to be converging to the vanishing point. Or I should say the front of it is not going to. So that's why I'm just drawing like a complete square. So you draw your shape, which I drew a square. Now these points are going to be, the sides are going to be converging to the vanishing point. So you're going to take each point and connect it with the vanishing point. And if you remember from the video from yesterday, it should be very light because you're not always going to keep all of your converging lines. So I'm just lining up the corner of my box to the vanishing point. And this corner. Now let's show the end point of the box. Just like if you're thinking about a cube, all the sides are equal. So these angles here need to match the end part of the box. So if I bring this angle, which is just a vertical line, it should match back here. So I just lined up my ruler and then pulled it back. So these should be parallel to each other. This point and this point helps me create the other box lines that are going to be here. So parallel to this, and should line up with this point here, keeping that same angle. And then if I've lined things up correctly, as I bring this vertical line down, it should connect here. So same thing, this angle, pull it back. And then bring this line down. It should match this one. Might be slightly off if my lines are a little bit tilted, but for the most part, there we go. So this becomes like the front of the box. I'm gonna label it with an F for front, the side. If we can see through this kind of like a piece of glass, this would be another side, and this would be like the back. This could be, the bottom of the box. So if I can't see through my my cube, then I can erase all of these lines that I no longer need. So there's my box. Now I can see 3 sides, 1, 2, 3, and the rest of my converging lines I no longer need. All right, let me give you a chance to practice your own cube below the vanishing point and to the right. See if it ends up looking like this one. So for those of you that are in class, I'm gonna pause the video. For those that are working from home, go ahead and pause the video try it out and see if you can end up having it match like this. Okay, so let's try another box. This time, draw a box on the left side and see if you can do it by yourself. So I'm going to start with my box here and connect it. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can do it on your own. All right, so let's see how you did if you drew your box. Connecting all the corners. Maybe you guys give me just a minute. Thanks. There we go. Your box should look like this. Front of the box facing you, and then the sides of your box converging to the vanishing point. Let's try one that's on the horizon line. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can create a box on the left side that's on the horizon line. Go ahead and pause. All right. Let's see how you did. And then each of the corners should have gone. Sorry, I drew that a little bit off. To the vanishing point. I'm not lining things up very well today. Let's see. There we go. And then this line. I'm gonna erase all the sides. I'm not keeping. So because this is our line of sight, we cannot see the top or the bottom of the box because it's right here in the middle. Okay, so you should have these three forms by now. Next step, I want you all to create another box form to the upper right. And I'm gonna let you guys do that solo, and then we'll turn these in.